Hello everyone, welcome to my course and today we talk about design patterns in real life scenario. Yep, it's very important point because we will show every design principle sample code, maybe like terabyte core or animals, but sometimes I don't enough for me because I want to more show what we use in real life application, and I'm think about and I'm say myself I can create a powerful design pattern series, and I tell about for people to people how to use on real life scenarios. Yep, it's my main idea, and this is first videos in my series, design pattern series. No design pattern series. It's uh, like design pattern series. We talk about today singleton pattern, and you know we have three pattern concept: structure design, creational design, behavior design, and these patterns, kind of patterns, have a lot of solution for business life, and we will see how to handle, how to solve on problems, and what we use on projects in real life, real project, and I will show your sample real scenario, and I I believe my code because I have a lot of code in business life, in App Store and other store points, and I feel what we need business professional app, and I talk about this topics. Yep, these topics. Yep, and I have VB on the website, and I have English option. If you wanna learn architecture design, you can see all articles, and if you want the more for me detail, you can access my Medium channel, and you see my YouTube channel. A lot of Turkish content, but sometimes I create English content. I will try to keep English videos, but I'm prefer generally my local language. Yep, it's enough for me, and let's do my sample scenarios. Yes. Today we talk about singleton pattern. What is singleton pattern? Every project needs sometimes single instance and doesn't didn't change instance, and this instance maybe in its one times and use everywhere, and maybe this instance just only keep core classes, maybe other reasons, and singleton maybe most most use for design patterns, and we will see how to handle and how to migrate real life scenarios, and I have these plans. I migration this package with this package, shared preferences, and shared preferences maybe most used package for Flutter. This package provide to keep your data in mobile storage, local storage, like NS user default and shared preferences. You can keep your data in key value on mobile phone. Yep, it's very easy, but this package need to some wrapper class, because this package always need to initialize instance, maybe call to get instance and set instance time, but maybe you don't need it, because if you instance initialize in once time, and you don't need call every time, use async callback function. What I say, let me show my code and you can understand all of features. And we will going to create first project and first code. I'm going to cd desktop, cd flutter, yep, mm, development, sorry, flutter create, flutter create, flutter design patterns, yep, design patterns, yep. But I don't like this name, flutter design patterns, real life, flutter real life patterns, yep. Because every maybe a lot of repo created for design patterns named, but my different point, I told about real life scenario. Yep. cd flutter real life, flutter real life, yep, real life patterns, and cut that. Yep, it's nice. And I'm open my project. Yep, yes, it's nice. I'm return and I'm create maybe feature folder, and I create firstly and I need to three packages. First is structure patterns. After creational patterns, but it's drag here. Yep, it's nice. After, lastly, we need to behavior pattern design pattern series. After, first today we talk about creational patterns and singleton real life. Yep. And I create singleton classes, but I'm first to create home view. Maybe it's not a problem. Home view singleton. Yep, that. And I'm create import. It's very basic stateful page and home view singleton. Yep. I'm return my code, and I need to share preferences. I copy this code. I'm paste this here. Yep, shared preferences, and I'm return my code. And yep, and now I need to manager class, because I have I have a package, shared preferences package, but I don't have any wrapper library, any wrapper class, and I will create this class, and every view use this layer, and project have a great code, and every project developer doesn't change this code, or didn't or doesn't don't access core code features. Just use a singleton instance delegate and create or set up all of values. Yep. And I'm create shared manager. Yep. And singleton principles is have a lot of singleton principles, kind of singleton principles scenario here, singleton design, and maybe lazy singleton, like eager, like most of usage, but I love always use lazy or eager. What different this usage? If you have maybe project constants class, and you sometimes every developer use like magic number and create like base URL, and for using service layer, sorry, yep, base URL, and create like a.com, and you every developer use this method, or use this use this view code, And but I don't like this usage sometimes. Sometimes maybe need this. Like if you want, if you just keep base URL same instance, yep, it's right. But I see every project and project constant class has a lot of bad code. Maybe like you write flag or you write at other points. It's not good. And you know, you create always static instance. Maybe you don't need static instance every instance. And we create the lazy initialize, lazy singleton class. What we do this project constants lazy, and you know every project, if you don't see, but every class, every dot class, maybe Java or Swift, yep, have a constructor, private constructor. You don't see in this, but every class have this constructor. But if you don't see this code, and if you create a singleton class layer, you must be close your constructor, because your class have just only one instance, and every developer in the project use this single point. The if you doesn't close your constructor, every developer going to create new instance, and your singleton principle doesn't accept your project, and you must be change your every points, and maybe sometimes you want to control one point, this layer, maybe network layer, and you want to change maybe core features, and change the every point. And if you don't close this constructor, and this is a big problem for you, and be careful this layer, be careful this code, and you must be create dot and underscore like init instance. It's mean that your class is now is closed. Maybe you have like this sample function a sample, and you try to create new instance var x and new. You don't use need, but you don't need new, but every time you can create, you know, you can see. No, I use it. You can see create this instance, because this usage doesn't mean actually the private for that language. This like more file private. It's mean file private, this usage. What I say? If you create this instance like this here, and you wanna create this instance like this place, and you don't sorry, project constant lazy, you don't create this instance, because this is you create underscore declares, and this class close all new create new instance, and maybe first singleton instance rules, it's done. And going, I'm return my code, return my manager, it's firstly done. And you, if you use a lazy pattern, lazy singleton pattern, and you need to just only static project constants lazy and instance, yep, and you can access directly this instance, and maybe you can create a final string project title, yep, and after you can write projects x, and you can use directly on your project, maybe in scaffold and type bar and project constant instance and project title, and wrap with text widget. Yep, it's done. What's problem? Text is good. Sorry, I'm wrong this place. I create a bar widget and I write this place. Yep, It's good. And return my code. It's one usage scenario. Other scenario, I love this. I like this scenario. And I'm at mark lazy ship. I'm sorry, it's lazy singleton. It's more power. It's have a more power for than this usage because you create one point and one instance, and you can provide. You can share the instance for this layer. If you want to have a problem anytime, you can control maybe this instance. But if you write create every instance static name it, static declare, it's a problem sometimes in the project. You can be careful every time you use if you use the static instance. And we're going to main idea mark eager singleton. Yep, I like this, and I'm going to create and share it manager instance. Yep, and actually, we need to this inst like this because we close this constructor shared manager. It's not problem. It's very important point. I create static instance shared manager. Yep, and I create instance. Yep, it's true. But we now we support the null safety right now, and we always provide two object types, and we can say what we do in the object. Maybe this object optional, or we can say if I initialize to call it them, maybe in constructor like this place. Yep, what is problem? Is wrong is here, and I is I create this instance and I add underscore and I say maybe it's a optional because its instance doesn't initialize first time. If you need instance and maybe anytime and maybe you can need to settings page and you don't use every page, but why you initialize the first time, and I said I will create this instance the next time, and I create another point shared manager and its name instance, and I create the computed value, and this value provide to calling time it's returned to main value. And what it say? I'm checking this instance. If instance not equal to null, and I return instance value. Yep. If this instance null, I I create instance equal to underscore case, and my instance is filled now, and I'm returned to this instance. Yes, it's very little point, and okay, it's for this me, and it's lazy eager singleton. It's done, and I'm return my code, and shared preferences, and I need to shared preferences instance, and I'm create to maybe I create this here. Yep, it's no problem. I'm change this code shared preferences instance, and I want to keep instance just I want to show this instance only this manager, and I close my variable and with underscore case, and I say I initialize this instance next time. Maybe I can use preferences like this. I use optional parameter, that's a problem. Uh, Sometimes it's more comfortable use the optional declaring for other late, but it's no problem for me. And yes, it's nice. And I create this instance, shared preferences instance. If you call instance anytime, and I call preferences equal to shared preferences, get instance, like, and then, and I'm sorry, yep, and it's equal to value. It's have a little problem because you know constructor doesn't provide options, async options, and you don't create any asynchronization option in the constructor layer. And I'm create a little static function, and its name init shared preferences. It's it's need to uh, it's need the power for using time because sometimes I'm not sure its instance initialized to need time need it maybe I need to first time and I don't is this instance using then and maybe you this instance complete any time maybe 10 seconds after. I'm not sure that I need to async options and I create this instance and I just create preferences equal this. Yep. And I add await and I add static other points and I say this dot or I know shared manager instance I can access this layer. I know I say shared preferences that instance. No, I'm sorry. Shared manager edit point shared manager that instance that preferences it's equal this. Yep, I access this layer in the function. Normally you cannot see this function because function have variable because variable is file private, but I access this layer. Yep, it's need to some power for create project because if you have a great if you have a important project and you don't have any mistake and I need this point. Yep, it's nice. Maybe you can check this if shared preferences shared preferences is that equal not equal to null. You can return this code and maybe we have power. Yep, and is nice for me. Yep, and I'm return my code. You see, maybe normally I create this function like this. Maybe I create this core shared manager instance set string value and I'm create a custom enumeration because I'm close to every you developer sent to every random key value. I'm just need I say I just accept this enums and enum shared keys and maybe token. Yep, and I need this instance shared keys and I need the value. And normally I want to use this instance shared preferences that set string get string like this and you can see I can access this function directly and maybe this keys nokta to string. Yep, and you can see the get string normally function. But normally, if you use shared preferences normally time, and always you can use shared preferences that shared preferences need to initialize. What I say, maybe you can use normally shared preferences instance, shared preferences get instance, and maybe you can see it's is it feature value and after you can call this instance like var x. Yep, it's just sample and you can just call this time x dot get value. normally time you can just always write await code, but you can see you don't need any code in this place, and like write this code, string code, and nice, it's good. Get string, and we can return nullable value, and always you can create protocol or interface abstract class. Yep, I shared manager, yes, and I create this variable in this place, yes, it's good, and I create a, no, I didn't, this is, yep, just only need this, and implement like this, yes, it's good. Maybe I add override keywords, override, yes, it's good. And if you want to use a set value or this get string and set string, I want to, where is my point? Get string and set string value. Get string only need keys instance, yep, and I just need this value, and get string value, set string value, it's nice, and I'm just use this, and set string key to strings, keys nokta to string and value, yep, it's nice. And it's maybe return to boolean, and you see we need to feature instance, and I add await feature boolean, yep, sorry, I think yes, it's good, and I'm change this return type bool, yep, it's pretty good. What is, yep, nullable, no, bool not true, yep, hmm, maybe return bool is problem, and it's a problem, I return to false. Yep, it's very good for me. And I'm going to my main dot. It's nice for me. It's ready for usage. And I'm create meta application for sample scenarios. And I create this and change this main file. And I create this instance for without project start, and I call this instance shared manager dot shared manager that you can see I can just access instance and init shared preferences instance. And if you call init shared preference instance, it's called to core instance layer. Firstly, going to create instance, after field to shared preferences instance, and I'm called to Singleton home view. I'm sorry, I'm forget this name, home view. Where is my point? Yep. Yep. It's nice. Yep. It's good. And I create my simulator. Yep. And I'm starting this project. I'm use more this usage because I love this usage scenarios. Sometimes you can you can add protected code this layer. Maybe my my business project have this manager, and I create the other wrapper, other manager class, maybe uh, encryption class, and I add this layer with dependency principle, dependency injection, and I need this instance, and I added this instance, and I'm just at this layer, and project they don't know what I do because I manage all instance one point, and it's very good for me. And I have little problems. Maybe where is problems? You can see shared preferences. Shared preferences. Get instance. Because I understand this point. Sorry, if you use this, I'm copy my code. Where is main dot? If you want to this code, I no shared preference. I need to widget bindings in like initialize code. I'm not sure that I'm checking this code. I'm open main dots. Where is main dots? Yep. No, where is I'm okay. I'm checking easy localization. I remember this package have a this layer. Where is this code? Yep. I think we need this. Yep, material app. It's good. Sorry, it's a trouble. I'm open this again. Initiated preferences instance, yes, it's good. Is not equal, it's called this code instance. Yep. Shared preferences instance, get instance, tent value is good, no problem. And I'm checking this code. Where is my mistake? I don't find this problem. Maybe this layer have a trouble. I'm not sure that. There is problem. I'm checking main dart. Yep, it's nice. It's no problem. My app, it's good. Okay, I'm remove this code. Actually, I don't need this because you know we need to init shared preferences solve every problems. I'm just I'm just show to sample scenario. If you don't use init share, if you don't want to use init shared preferences instance. Yep, it's good now. I'm okay, and I'm going to home with Singleton, and I create it's very kind of body. No body. Where is body? I'm not. Body, and I add column instance. Yep. I add sample text field. Yep. And I add flat button, a floating exit button for save button. Yep, it's good. And it's I create auto. I have text changing function. On change. Yep, I have on change it. Yes. And I create string on value. Yep, it's like value, and every change this value is create this layer, and I save this button, and you see this data, and I'm return my code, and if you press this button, I call shared manager instance and set string value, and it's very strongable because it's not accept all code, all keys, just accept shared keys, and I can access instance variables. I don't create any new instance, and I say token instance like is this sample, and I create value. Yep, and I wrote value. Yep, and I'm save this data, and I'm press this button, and maybe I add this action. Yes, I'm save this button, and I can create controller, text editing controller, and I can say first string value, constructor accept this value text, text, sorry, text shared manager instance, and I call this value and first instance last save in the caching, and I'm return my code and call refresh my screen. You can see valley, and I'm return my I save in new instance. I'm return my code, and you can see new valley 213, and I'm close my project. I'm call directly, and you can, if you need any instance, call to mobile database shared preferences database, and you don't need to asynchronous call. You can just call to get string value. If you need to set string instance, and you can access this point every class. It's very good code. It's very important code because you can control this database. Database is very important for mobile stack, and you can be careful usage for scenario. Yeah, it's good. It's good, and we can access. We can use eager instance, eager singleton and lazy singleton, and we have to eager singleton power. This instance the called first time. If you want to create this instance, maybe I don't call this time, maybe I want to call splash screen. After the splash screen, you can just call this instance. Yep, it's nice for me for the project. Yep, that's enough for lesson. I think this knowledge uh, for using, if you use the business project, and you can feel to great coding power. And I believe that for I believe that this usage solve maybe critical point in this project, in this your project. Have a nice coding. Good to see you. Bye bye.